Hi guys, welcome to another great episode here on my channel. It's your host, Michael Coleman, and what I'm going to be doing today is going over an exact case study of how I took a client from 0 to 330K in just 5 months with his Shopify jewelry brand. And so a lot of people ask me all the time, how do I do this? How do I do that? So today I'm going to actually show you guys firsthand how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it right away with no further ado. So let's get into that. All right, so here we are. Just in case you guys wanted a visual representation, that's 330K in just 6 months. In really just 5 months, but we're going to go and get into that in just a moment. So let's get to it. Okay, guys, just to give you guys a brief overview, I'm going to go over everything that happened with this brand in over 6 months, the complete 1,000 perspective overview of everything that happened. So let me go ahead and get into it. All right, so if we see here, here's a number, 333,000 in just 6 months. You can see from January all the way to June of 2024. Now, we also see the average order value is 286. Now, why is this important? A lot of people always say like it's hard to sell high ticket items, but it's actually not. Sometimes it can be easier if you have less competition selling those higher tickets. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. So a little bit about this brand. So this brand started officially in January of 2022. They knew they had a great product, but they didn't know how to advertise it all the way. They had raw materials of gold and silver, and they had access to a good amount of cash capital in terms of ad spend and marketing, but they didn't know what they wanted to do. So for the first 30 days, when they found us, what we told them is what we're gonna do is audience and creative tests. We also helped scale their winning ads and their audiences as soon as we found them. So this brand was a little bit hesitant at first. They actually did the first 1 month on their own and a little bit into their second month on their own. However, they did hear about me along the way, and they knew that they weren't really confident in themselves in terms of running ads in a high amount of budget. They knew they needed a professional, and they had heard about me and wanted to reach out as they hadn't really tried advertisement before and they didn't know if Facebook ads was going to be the right route for them. But obviously, after I showed them a little bit of like what we do and how we help people, they went ahead and invested, and I'm so glad they did, and they are as well. So along this way, they decided to go ahead and invest in us and hand over the guidance and us running and managing their ads for them almost right away. They knew they wanted to entrust it with the experts, and so that's where we kind of took over. So let me go ahead and show you the month by month breakdown of exactly how this went down. All right, guys, so this is the exact breakdown of how it went down. So their first month, this is also why they were pretty discouraged, is they actually spent about $200 and only gained about $40 back. So they had spent money and negatively, they only got like one sale, I think. So they were like, what's going on here? One, their budget was a little bit way too low. I kind of established that for them. So I went ahead and told them that. So we increased their budget, and as you see, we pushed the budget up almost every single month. Now we did get a pretty aggressive between 9 and 50K. We were going for a really high goal of 250K, and as you see, we were just about on pace to get that pretty aggressively. We were also having a heavy amount of competition, and we were testing a ton. We were absolutely testing a ton, which is why the budget was so high. And whenever we turned off everything that wasn't working, we were left with the very, very best. And so this gave us a really high pivot point into moving to the next level, which I'm going to explain here in a future case study what we're working on since then. But here's like the first 4 to 5 months of us working together. All right, so with all that being said, we all know what we all care about, and that's going to be how much money they actually made. So if we see here, obviously they made 330,000. It was a little bit more. It was like 33, but 30,000 and minus ad spend. So the ad spend was 127.74. They also I calculated around 90,000 for raw materials. So they kind of gave me their raw material list. It was around 90,000. So with that, they had profited 116,000 in those 5 to 6 months. So the first 6 months of 2024, they were able to profit 116,000, and really that was in the 5 months as it kind of started late in February and January. So absolutely insane. Revolutionized this brand owner. It's a brand owner that's first generation into the U.S. as well. So really creating that American dream for him and everybody around them. And so glad that I can make it happen for him. And I'm looking to make it happen for as many other people as I can as well. So that's something. If you're interested in something like this, go ahead and shoot me a DM on IG or comment down below. Also, if you're liking this video, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button down below. It means the world to me as a new channel. I'm trying to get out there as much as possible. So go ahead and smash that button down below. Share this to anybody that you might find this valuable, and that will go a long way, I promise. So I really appreciate that, guys. Let's go ahead and continue on. So here's how. This is the moment of truth where everybody's been wondering. So how was I able to take a brand that got one sale to a brand that got hundreds of sales and over 100,000 each month consistently? How was I able to do that? It was actually more simple than you thought. The first thing I'm gonna do is sub my interest testing campaign. So interest testing, finding out which audiences are gonna be the very best for us. On top of that, we found a unique product. So he had a really product that was mainstream, and he niched it down by finding a certain niche within that, a certain customization that people weren't doing. And then also using the interest testing, we were able to find the right target market over the first, 30 to 45 days. On top of that, once we found the correct first audiences, we then utilized retargeting and local ads so to drive traffic into his storefront after we found out what was working. All right, so let's go ahead and get this breakdown of exactly how I did each step. All right, so this is actually a jewelry brand. So I went ahead and actually provided you guys with the top interest. I tested out hundreds of interests, probably about 20 to 30 interests. So I tested out about 20 to 30 interests, and these were the top four that I was able to identify. I'm not able to go into the ad account just yet, so this is the best I could provide you guys for right now. But these are the best interests, so if you guys want to go ahead and test out these interests as well, feel free to do so. But I do like these interests across multiple niches. I like them across jewelry. I like them across streetwear and everything in between. So here are some of the best interests. Now on top of that, I went ahead and showed you the best ads in terms of ROAS. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this on a high level so you guys can go actually make these for yourself and visualize these as well. So, starting from the top, we had our bestseller Advantage Plus catalog. So what I did was I created that ad, and on the ad level, I selected create ad and then catalog. So from catalog, I said all items or a certain collection, and that's how it was the bestsellers collection, and it dynamically showed all those products to people based on what they viewed previously or have a most liking to. Secondly, we also had a voiceover video paneling over the product. So we had a product kind of in the foreground, in the very middle, and we painted over it very slowly. And we had like kind of like a hip hop music like going over it, obviously. I'm also gonna move myself over here. I'll move myself right here for now. All right, and then also we had a product focused B-roll with a high ticket pricing. So and this is also give us a high ROAS. The reason why is because it was a high ticket pricing. So I believe it was like painting over the product again, or like showing the product like laid down, just B-rolled over it for multiple angles, and then it had like catchy song that changed at the time at each clip B-roll change, and then also we had a price on there. I believe it was like custom jewelry starting around 11 to 2100, something like that, and then people can reach out and send a DM or buy it directly from the website. And then last but not least, we had product focused B-roll with the hip hop music again, and then also the top sellers. So this was like paneling through multiple of the top sellers. So as you see, like the top sellers was a hit for us. So like that was why they were our top sellers or best sellers. So that was how I went ahead and tested at the interest level and was able to get a proper foundation for this brand. All right, so continuing on, what we're going to go ahead and do as well is look at the next thing. So the next thing that I kind of mentioned was he found a unique product plus target market. So this client took an untraditional route or approach on custom jewelry. So he did a custom jewelry that a lot of people are used to, but he made it more customizable. He made it more manageable for smaller people for people that weren't as financially inclined to buy. And this absolutely went crazy for him. It allowed like the smaller fish to swarm essentially, and it worked out for him, dominating the niche. So this approach was very untraditional, but it worked in a very competitive market. So I want you guys to think about that and think how you can apply that for yourself. And instead of focusing on such the high ticket items or like full sets, which he did offer, or you can offer, you always want to offer that high ticket item because you'll always get that person that can buy or spend that X amount of money. But he focused on a smaller sets, a smaller amount of products, around a $300, $500 range. We saw around 250, to get people to constantly buy over and over again, and to get more people that were willing to buy as well. Continuing on, why was this important? He was able to capitalize on an untapped market in a saturated niche. Very, very powerful. This allowed for more customization, which in turn gave the brand more virality and demand instantly. Absolutely instantly. So we kind of hit that perfect storm with doing this, and I recommend you guys try to do the same. Also, understand your market. If you understand your market, you can find out exactly what the market is lacking, and you can work to fill that. And as soon as you fill that gap, people are going to swarm to you like bees on honey, I promise. All right, continuing on. So step three is where it gets juicy, guys. This is where it gets really important. So we went ahead and set up retargeting. So once we had about 20,000 profitable, this is very important, profitable website visitors and about 500 added carts, we set up retargeting for them. And as you see down below, down here, they had about 2,400 added carts. So roughly around 1/3 of this time, which is in that circle, that retargeting zone, is where we implemented this for them. So basically, we pulled all their social engagement, we pulled all their website visitors, all their people that have added to cart, all their purchasers, and we retargeted them. Now, a lot of people will stack these together, which I do sometimes stack these together, but I also like to test these individually to see which one is actually going to be the best for us and to scale accordingly. So this allows us to warm up the audience twice as long as the audience testing. So if you only target these people for the cold audience, you're only really targeting the first like 7, maybe 21 days. This is going to target people all the way to the past 180. Now, you might be asking me, Michael, why are we testing so far back? 180 is honestly perfect. We've tested 30, 90, 180, and all the way 365, and 180 is like right before people kind of forget about your brand. And if they haven't bought within that last 6 months and they've seen you several times, they're probably over your brand for now. We're going to give them a break and allow Facebook to naturally find them again here in a couple weeks or months when they're ready. But continuing on, let's see how this actually benefited them. So this was absolutely crazy. So I had direct access with multiple of my clients, and this person actually DM'd me, and I noticed that he processed a huge payment. As you see, he processed a payment of $80,000 in one day. I was like, "Whoa, what? Where did this come from? Did this come from Facebook ads?" And he's like, $1 million month is on the way. We're preparing for that. We're working on a 20K as well. So this person was working on almost 100K worth of revenue from just 2 people, from running local ads, like local traffic ads. So we implemented local traffic ads for them. And then after honing in on our niche, we expanded this brand and they moved to a physical storefront. So they had a really small, like mom and pop, like I think they were working out of like part of their home or something like that. And then they moved to a really nice storefront that actually can host about 2 to 3 people at a time, like 2 to 3 groups of people. And now they're actually moving to the place bigger because they've already outgrown that place in less than a year. So it's absolutely crazy. They're experiencing astronomical growth, and it's so great to help them and see. But they are mainly able to utilize this by utilizing Meta local awareness campaigns. So what we did was we did an awareness campaign, which is actually really cheap compared to purchase, which is awesome. And we did a 35-mile radius around their location, and to drive traffic straight to the storefront. So in the ad copy, we put the location name, we gave them a discount or a promotion to come in and mention that they found the ad, and we made it super enticing for them to come in and share the experience. We showed people having fun. We showed people buying products so people would be amped up and ready to buy their product as soon as they walked in, and it absolutely went crazy. So this proved to be vital in adding additional revenue for this brand, and I'm looking to do it for multiple people as well. So yeah, let's continue on. So, in conclusion, the main thing I want you guys to take from this is understanding your market and think outside the box when you guys are in saturated markets or niches. You guys are going to be in saturated niches all day long. But you got to constantly find out how you can one up the next person next to you so that way you can win that race. If you're in front of the next person, you don't have to be number one, but if you're in front of like multiple people, you're going to get a good slice of the pie. So think outside the box. And if you're doing something that's not being saturated inside that niche, people are going to swarm to you. Like I promise you, be that innovator. You don't always have to be that innovator. See what's working and then make it better over time if you can. Also, creative and audience test aggressively. As you see, like I was creative testing, or I mentioned I was creative testing very aggressively the first like 30 to 45 days. In all situations, you want to creative test aggressively if you don't already have winning audiences. If you have winning audiences, that's not necessary. If you don't have winning audiences, you want to creative test right away to try to find the right creatives. Creatives are like the ads that you're running, as well as audiences. So the correct like interest testing as well to find out what's going to be most profitable. And it might not be what you expect. For example, if it's a jewelry brand, you might try like Tiffany and Co. You might try Target, like Target as in like, where your target market's actually going to go. Target the retailer. That's where like, they have people spend a good amount of money. They, it's middle class. People can have money to spend. Or you're going to do like Tiffany and Co. Tiffany and Co is going to be so expensive, so competitive. Everyone's going to be trying to do that. It's an exact jewelry brand, exactly on our niche. But if you go with Target, you're still going to target those same demographic of people, maybe a little bit less, but they're still going to be willing to buy. And Facebook's going to find the right pool of people within that. So that's a little nugget for you. Lastly, we expanded to local ads after we found out what works. So we expanded to local ads after we found out what works. And this proved to be like really important because people started getting walk-in traffic, and I can help you guys with that as well. Like if you guys are just wanting walk-in traffic or you're not sure if this will work for you, definitely reach out and I can help you and see if it is a good fit. But also, with that being said, working with me. If you are interested in working with me or you want me to replicate the same kind of strategies that worked and grew for this brand, go ahead and DM me YouTube on IG, Michael T. Coleman. You'll find me over there. Also put it down below. You can also apply directly through my website at hydrospire.com. I also have a community. So I have a community for people that maybe aren't quite ready for me to run their ads for them and they want to continue to learn. Maybe they have a smaller brand. So in this community, I will be in there teaching directly 2 times a week live. You'll also have an exclusive creative library, which no matter whatever niche you're in, I will create a tailored creative library for you. And then also you'll get my complete course, which has my exact strategy worth anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000, depending on who you talk to. But it can value way more than what it's worth. And so that community is actually going to be $150 a month right now. So it's absolute steal. So I do encourage you guys to take advantage of everything I'm offering for this Q4 as I'm trying to help out as many people as possible. So if you don't know what you're interested in or you don't know what's perfect for you, go ahead and reach out to me on IG and I'll get you taken care of. But yeah, that's how I was able to take that brand from 0 to 330K in just 5 to 6 months with Facebook ads. So if you guys want any more information, definitely reach out to me and I would love to help you guys out. With no further ado, I'm out of here. Later.